Plug your computer in. Okay. So, I've been watching a documentary on Steve Martin that my parents have had on, and it's activating so much in me. Like just seeing his career and how he would go on stage and do the weirdest shit. Like, it's giving me so much permission to just be a fucking weirdo. Like, that's all I want to do. I want to use these videos as a way to understand what feels best for me in terms of expression. How can I bring it out? Because there's so much here that I want to express. There's so much here in this heart that I want to express outwards. And I want to I'm like aching. And these suicidal ideations have been these walls around the heart dissolving, and more of this is able to come out. This joy, I have such a joy for life. There's so much love for humanity and people and beauty, and like I'm witnessing someone walking their dog, witnessing strangers hugging. Like, there's such a wonder. Like, that is the child inside of me. There's such a wonder for life. It is so beautiful. Every moment is magic. It is magic. And that part of me has been so repressed. And I so much want to get this creative energy out. And it's coming out in my writing. And there's more humor coming out. There's nothing more pleasurable to me. It's funny because it's related to the sacral chakra. There's nothing more pleasurable than allowing this energy to come out and channel it, like from the heart through the throat, like all the way up. It's this powerful, like creative, sexual, magnetic energy, and then it's coming through this innocent heart space that just wants to love everything and is full of so much compassion. And then there's this throat and this mind, and I've been gifted. I don't want to waste this gift that I've been given by God. I just shared on my Facebook this meme, not a meme, a photo from the movie Good Will Hunting. And there's a scene where Ben Affleck is talking to Matt Damon, and in the movie Matt Damon is this mathematical genius, but he's playing small because he feels safe. And Ben Affleck's character says, in so many words, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket and you're too much of a pussy to cash it in. And that has hit me for years, that scene. Because without being, no, even if I was narcissistic, I know I'm a genius. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. And I'm not even going to qualify it by saying we all are geniuses. I'm just going to talk about me right now. I know that there's a genius inside of me, and I want to unleash it so badly. Because, like, I've contemplated so much, like, what makes life worth living? What makes life worth living? Is it anything that we get? Is it relationships? To me, it is about expressing oneself, and also about having that make an impact on other people. And we just talked, I was watching the call from our, hold on, I got to fart. There we go. I was watching a call from our mastermind from 2 weeks ago. And there's such a deeper appreciation for the power of humor. It is a catharsis. Humor is a release. It allows, like, the armor to be shed. Like, when you're at a comedian's event, that is a sacred role because they are de-armoring the audience. They're letting people strip away their worries, their stresses, their fears, and they're bringing them into a state of presence. They're opening their mind, they're opening their heart, they're opening their body, they're allowing the walls of separation to dissolve between comedian and audience, and between the audience members themselves. It's like this sacred space of unity. And I'm getting so connected to like why I feel like I'm on this planet. And I know it's not one thing. There's not one logical reason why any of us are on this planet, but I so deeply want to be a instrument for catharsis, for popping tension with humor and wit and authenticity. My beautiful brother Joshua shared an experience where he's been working at this is very blurry. Not sure why it's so blurry now. Weird. We are playing with lighting. Okay. That looks like shit still too. Alright, well for this video, I'm going to leave it here. Not right there, because that's way too much light. Voila. Still blurry. So it is. My beautiful brother Joshua shared that humor it's important because it dissolves tension. It moves energy that is already present. If you're in an intimate space, like he was describing his experience of working at a stretch lab, and when you're stretching someone, you're in this awkward space of like breathing, and you're really close, and maybe someone smells, and humor just like breaks these walls down. It is so fucking sacred. And the gift of this level of awareness that I have is being able to sense and feel things, that energies that maybe not everyone is aware of, but they unconsciously feel them. And so then speaking them out allows them to be popped and dissolved. It's like literally these energetic masses exist as maybe walls. And a sacred gift I have is to be able to pop these walls, to break down these walls using the gift of language and humor. It's like an energetic, it's magic. It's magic. We are magicians. And we are in this world of energy. And the words that we speak, and beneath the words that we speak, the way that these words vibrate, because everything is vibration. And so it's not just the words, but it's the purity, the clarity, the essence of the energy. It impacts everything around us. And I notice now I'm getting into my head, and I'm going into some fear. This fear of going crazy. This fear of feeling so uncertain. Like, what is next? What is next? I feel so much fear. I feel it's so fascinating, because in this moment, and slowly but surely, I have felt more me than ever before in my entire life, more connected to myself, more grounded, more real, more expressive in the moment. I'm more myself in interactions with other humans. And it is the most beautiful gift. And so what is this fear that arises? This fear is, it's wanting to control. It's planning. It's It's afraid of, because fear is contraction. And so my task is to notice this contraction. There's a contraction right now in my neck and shoulders. And so how can I work with it? How can I alchemize this contraction? Is it with movement? Is it with stretching? Is it with speaking? Is it, what is it? And it feels like it's a throat chakra / heart chakra thing. There's this contraction of like, I'm not safe to fully let go. What is it that I'm afraid to express? We talked about this on our mastermind. I'm afraid to express. I'm afraid. I've been afraid to talk about things that are too dark, like sexuality. But beneath that, like certain topics that if you talk about them, people freak out. Like I used to watch really dark pornography. I used to watch incest porn of mother son or brother sister, and now it's the big thing in porn. I haven't watched porn much in the last several years, but the last 3 nights, 2 of the last 3 nights, I've been exploring it kind of consciously, like curiously, like what is this? What's the allure? Almost like experimenting my own pleasure and like what excites me. And so stuff like that, like I want to talk about that shit. Like I used to watch incest porn. I used to watch not necessarily rape porn, but like it was called like reluctancy porn, right? Where like the woman would be like reluctant and almost manipulated into it. Now, whether or not someone could ever truly be manipulated depends on what your definition of the word manipulate is. Manipulate to me just means almost playing, like I'm manipulating energy right now. Anyways, I want to talk about dark shit. So what am I afraid to talk about? The stuff that we're not allowed to talk about in our culture. Deep, dark, shameful shit like heavy porn that you've watched. I often think about serial killers and pedophiles, and I just try to get inside their minds and understand them. Like there's not one human on this planet who is separate. And so, someone like, there's a guy I found on Wikipedia once named Albert Fish. He was like the most fucked up person ever. I remember reading his Wikipedia page and just being like, oh my fucking God. So like, why do we do what we do? Like, I want to approach things with curiosity instead of judgment. And I want to do that with myself. I've been judging myself so harshly. Why, Kai, why are you so afraid to fully like launch into life consistently? Like, why are you still living at your parents, at your childhood home? Why are you afraid to express yourself? Why do you have so much tension in your neck and shoulders? Why are you so afraid to let loose and to have fun at times? And this video is therapeutic for me because it's like I get to play with these. I get to curiously play with myself. Play with myself. What is it I'm afraid of? What is it I'm afraid of? I don't know. It ultimately comes down to I'm afraid I'll be abandoned for being too fucking weird, for talking about shit that's too weird. Like maybe there's all of a sudden these images of like, well, my birth name is Jeff. So no, Jeff, we don't talk about that. You need to stop talking. You're too fucking weird. You're an instigator. You need to quiet down. And I was told to quiet down and sit still. And I would always get in trouble for talking too much during class. because God forbid I want to have a good time and laugh with my friends rather than listen to this teacher telling me about shit I don't care about. I wanted to be in my own rhythm. I don't want someone else to tell me what to do with my body or my mind or my soul. And then why is there this fear around doing that? It's like we each have our unique note we are meant to play in this world. Why am I so afraid to play my own note? Can it be okay that I'm still afraid? Can it be okay that I lean on other people's rhythms for a while to stay alive? Can that be okay? Yeah, because I don't want to fucking kill myself. And if that keeps me from killing myself, so be it. But am I actually ever even alive? Sometimes I go down this non-duality wormhole. I was literally just reading that recently there's been controversies around the 10-day Vipassana retreats because people have been committing suicide or going into psychosis. Because yeah, if you think too much about the nature of reality, you can go crazy, as in like you can get trapped in terror because you realize that the only thing that ever exists is right now, and it's always now. And we're ultimately floating in an infinity, and we create all these stories and all these meanings to make sense of it so that we feel comfortable. But in reality, there's just isness. And I've gone down that path last week when I was feeling really suicidal and full of terror and imagining shooting myself. That's where I went. I went down this. There's a guy named Jed McKenna, and I was searching. Uh, he had written about suicide, and he's like, it's something that's really important to explore. Like, if you don't feel like living anymore, then do it. He would talk about, like, think about it, contemplate it. But then I also realized that contemplating it that much is also just pointless, because if I'm in turmoil from contemplating suicide, then it's like, why am I living? It's almost like either do it or don't do it. Don't just like think about it all the fucking time, which I've been doing for the last year and a half. But there's nothing wrong. I couldn't have done anything wrong. It's all part of my path, like understanding suicide. Like, what is suicide? Suicide is a desire to die because you can no longer live a certain way. It's like a certain aspect is so suffocating that you have to shake it off. Like Taylor Swift, you have to fucking shake it off. And so I've been obsessing over, like, I want to have this comedy show. I want to have this show, but it's not going to look like anything that anyone else has ever done because I'm me. It's going to be unique. And so what does the show look like? Does it literally look like me going onto a stage with no plan and just doing this? And maybe just like staring at people and just saying exactly what's on my mind? Like, maybe there's a woman in the front row who's got a nice rack, and I'm like, hey, you have a nice fucking rack. Will it involve maybe me getting humiliated or ostracized? Yeah, and I think that's what I'm afraid of. I know that the brightness, the rawness of my soul is big. It's immense. And that's why it's taken this process to like work through it. And it actually, I have such a desire now to be compassionate towards myself. I've been beating the fuck out of myself for so long. Self-judgment is unnecessary and irrelevant and silly. It does nothing. Berating oneself is pointless. I lost my train of thought. I had it. I had something to say, and now I fucking lost it. And I hate this fucking feeling where I was like on a roll, and now it's gone. And now I just want to run away and hide. It's like there's so much inside of me that wants to get out. Like I want my life to be this work of art, and it is. And I want it to be beautiful, and I want it to be raw. And yet there's also so much I'm afraid of. And a lot of it is around sexuality. I was accused of sexual assault when I was 18. I slept with my best friend's girlfriend. That was my first time. He was away at college. We were back in our hometown. And we got drunk and we had sex. And I think I lasted like 2 seconds. I was hammered. And I have a lot of shame around that. I have carried a lot of shame around that. And then she told our friend group that I assaulted her. And then I've thought about, did I assault her? Because I went into the evening with the intention of sleeping with her. I knew that there was some attraction there, and I was like, well, why don't I add booze to the mix so that the inhibitions will be let down, and then we'll see what happens, right? And so I'm afraid, I've been afraid. I'm not going to say I am, because I'm not casting that spell on me anymore, because I deserve to be fucking free. I have in the past had a tremendous amount of fear and shame around my sexuality. That I've had this story that it's wrong, when in reality, like I just want to fuck all the time. Like I have a huge sex drive, but I'm like, how do I unleash that energy? And then I'm also wondering, is it that I want to fuck, or is it that I just want to express my creativity, my sacral? Because if I feel into my highest excitement, it's about expression. But yes, some expression is sexual, right? Some of it's sexual. Some of it's vocal. Sexuality is the area of raw expression. And I've been wanting to work through my sexual shadows. I've been calling in someone to explore my shadows with in a conscious way. I know there exists something called conscious kink, where you can work out all your shit in a safe space. Like maybe you need to be submissive for a while and really like play that out all the way. I think we really need to play out our shadows fully. So maybe I really need to like get into that submissive mode and like be treated. I know a lot of, let me keep it about myself. Maybe I need to really let myself be fully submissive and see what that feels like to fully surrender. And then I also need to get into that dominant space and just fucking take charge. And it's like, I so badly just want to integrate these unintegrated parts of myself. And how to live in this world that operates with these 3D laws, knowing that I'm not from this planet, but I'm also here to be human. So how do I integrate my soul into this 3D world in a way that is radically authentic, but also compassionate? I've created this false dichotomy in my brain that to be sexual and raw and primal and expressive is somehow mutually exclusive with kindness, compassion, and tenderness. So that's my goal, is to integrate this like sexuality, this fucking primal rawness with innocence, tenderness, playfulness, lightness, compassion, love. Because I love so deeply. I cry at Everything. Everything makes me cry. I'm noticing how good it feels to not filter myself. I'm fully letting my body and my mind express what is arising. And it feels so good. And what's so amazing about this experience is that it's becoming easier. It's becoming integrated. That is integration. I notice I'm still able to operate on a day-to-day basis. I'm still able to cohabitate with my parents. I'm able to work this design landscaping job. I'm able to do 3D tasks. I'm able to make food. You know, I just did a budget for April, been logging my finances. I'm able to do both. I've had this fear, and I think it's been this false dichotomy that in order to be my most expressive self, it means that I'm going to be wearing a banana suit dancing in the street all day, and that I can't integrate it in like a grounded way. It's this fear of going crazy and getting lost in the chaos, in the psychedelic experience. And so then I created this false dichotomy of like, I'm either bored and depressed, or I'm completely lost in the chaos of this like ecstasy mania experience. But I know that there's a way to integrate it where I can feel ecstasy, I can feel crazy and weird and expressive, that comedian, like, blah, blah, or just weirdo. I can feel that, but I can learn to slowly but surely build the capacity to hold it in my nervous system. And that's what I realize is happening with these videos, the power of these performances. It's increasing my capacity for authenticity. What a gift. There was a quote that was literally like, find safe spaces, create safe spaces to express that which has not been allowed to be expressed before, or something like that. And it just clicked for me how important these videos are. I mean, I'm coming up on 30 minutes of unfiltered expression. And so what is that signaling to my nervous system? It's saying, you're allowed to do that. And everything is a reflection. So the allowance of this authenticity in the safe space, because I've created this like safe space for myself where I know that there's no one that's going to attack me, right? Like I'm not going to get attacked. There's no one around me. There's I have this cocoon that I've created so that I can work through these energies, and I can like notice like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body now. And I don't even have to logicize it anymore. I can just work through it. That's energetic alchemy. It's embodying more and more authenticity. And how does that happen? By being authentic. It's such a simple concept. And yes, there are all these amazing tools that can help, right? Like meditation and yoga. But the core medicine is authentic expression. So how does my body want to move? How do I want to move my hands? What feels right? Like in this moment, do I want to lay down? Do I want to sit? Do I want to burn some incense? Do I want to read this book? Do I want to get a drink of water? I do want to get a drink of water. And this is the tantric path that I know really calls to me, which is being integrated with the fart. And that means
not being at war within. Like whatever the energy wants to do, I'm doing it. I'm not fighting it. I've been so afraid of it, but it hasn't been me that's been afraid. It's been the control, the egoic patterns of control. And that's the death. The patterns say, if you do this, you will die. Because last time you did this, last time you authentically expressed yourself, you experienced such an intense energetic charge that it overwhelmed your nervous system. And so you vowed never to do it ever again. And so the potency of this space is that I'm creating that safety again. I'm allowing these programs to be dissolved with love, to say like, no, you can be yourself. Like, it's okay. And I'm realizing it gets to be a fun process of discovery. And there's really nothing to fear. It's all energy. There are fearful thoughts. There are intense energies, but is there anything to like actually fear? No. Now it's easy for me to say that in this space, and there will be continued growth and challenges for sure. But it's very clear the direction that I wish to walk in this life, and I will stumble and I will fall. But I know that my soul is here for a reason, and all my trials have made me stronger. And more than strong, I just have a deep respect for myself and like a compassion for myself right now. Like I don't want to carry any more shame around my situation. I'm doing the best that I fucking can. There's a lot of really creative, really unique, really sensitive beings that have killed themselves and that haven't made it through, haven't been able to live in this world. And so I just want to be kind. I'm not comparing myself as better than them or stronger than them. I'm just being grateful that I'm still here. It can be really fucking hard to be a human, to feel this much density, to be this sensitive. And yeah. And it really is the mind, because this whole time I haven't really been thinking. And so what do I feel? I feel great. Maybe not great, but I feel free. Is freedom the highest virtue for me? Yes. Freedom means relaxation. In that Steve Martin documentary I was just watching a little bit with my parents, he said he discovered this Hungarian word. I don't remember what the word was. It was long. But it was something about, with a relaxed mind comes wit and humor. And so the ultimate highest virtue is actually, for me at least, relaxation. Or the release of contraction. Because contraction is fear, and contraction is I'm not safe. I can't be who I am. I can't trust that my survival needs will be supported. I can't trust that I can handle this. And relaxation says, God's got this. I got this. My soul's got this. Everything's okay. And then from that space of relaxation, there is a sense of being able to embrace, what is it? Amor fati. That was Friedrich Nietzsche. To love one's fate. There's this like fully relaxing into exactly where I am. Like exactly. Every circumstance, relaxing into it. Because What creates the fear is fighting it and contracting against a certain energy creates tension. From tension, the mind goes, oh, something's wrong because the body doesn't feel safe. So how do we create safety in the body? By allowing the energy to move. Maybe that means singing. Maybe that means speaking a truth. Maybe that means like moving the body or humming or whatever it is. But trapped truth is the cause of illness and neurosis. It feels really good. I feel like I'm fucking... The downloads are profound right now. I'm like vibrating. I cut my forearm here. Wow, I'm tired. It feels really good to feel tired, actually. Like to genuinely feel tired. It's like I got out what I needed to get out because I was feeling really restless before. I don't need to plan. I can just trust the process and live a day at a time and let go of shame and let go of needing to do anything and just know that being me is the most pleasurable thing. And it doesn't matter what the external looks like. Like I can be, like today I was doing landscaping, but when I can drop into it and do that as me, as God, then it's pleasurable because I'm enjoying, I'm fully with the experience. Yes, does my mind have experiences that it would like to have? Like, do I want to have sex with a lot of people and, have 2 or 3 women giving me a blowjob at the same time? Sure. Do I need that? No. Because the pleasure is found in the here and the now. And it's like, ironically, those experiences that I desire, I know they'll happen, but they're not going to happen by me going after them and attaching to needing them. They're going to happen because I'm so surrendered and enjoying who I am that they magnetize to me. And that was one of the lessons that grandmother ayahuasca shared with me in September of 2022. She said, you're here to embody bliss, and bliss is relaxing. And relaxing doesn't necessarily mean laying down. I've had this image of thinking like, oh, okay, I need to be able to like lay down and just relax. No, relaxing means not tensing. So I can be fully relaxed and fully energized at the same time. And living life in that relaxed space is all I want. The external content, as Ram Dass, he's got an amazing quote about it. He's like, the external forms are lovely, but all it comes down to is this. Can I relax and trust and let go of like needing to control things, needing to get something? Because being relaxed, being accepting of what is, it feels good. Like right now, it just feels good to be here. And sure, there's parts of me that are like really grateful for my current circumstances. Like I have some money. I have a roof over my head. Like my human needs are met. I have friends who love me. Physical touch I haven't gotten a ton of recently. That's one thing. Although I do hug my parents frequently. But yeah, like what do I actually need? Yes, I scroll Facebook and I see people going to Tantra festivals and DJing and all these things that I know in my soul I want to do, but they will come ironically when I let go of trying to get them, because I'm trying to get them to bolster, to fill a hole inside of me. And ironically, when I live from a space of completeness, these things will come. What a paradox that is. That's something to sit with. All the things I want will actually come when I release the need to have them and be grateful for where the fuck I am and love this man in this moment as he is. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. Yeah. Wow. That felt fucking great. There is, as much as I don't necessarily enjoy being on clock time, there is this event in 6 minutes that I want to attend with a human who supported me many months ago, and he's doing a little workshop. So I do feel complete with this. Mm-hmm.